What up, people? It's your boy, Master Chudy, out here with another comic review. So, we have Teen Titans number 34. Everything that dealt with Lobo for the moment has been put on hold, but he's coming back thanks to Lex. And we basically have this cover saying, "We know you betrayed us, but don't let this cover fool you," as most DC comics are doing right now. So, let's get into it. So, we see that Mammoth is here, and as you know, basically, Jin with Robin have been, I don't know, lobotomizing all of the villains they've captured and basically having them serve a life good. And interestingly enough, Kid Flash seems to be somewhat on board. And you can see Robin's pleased with himself. But he pretty much said that, basically it looks like they're happy. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, all it took was pretty much a secret prison to blow up in your face, killing Deathstroke, getting Lomos to almost kill us, and then Red Arrow quitting, and then Jin hating you. And that kind of rubs Robin the wrong way. Then, of course, Jin comes in saying that, oh, someone stole my ring. So Adam Glass is on the words, and Bernard shedding back on the art. So everybody is pretty much saying, oh my gosh, this whole ring is gone. We all know that whoever has taken a ring pretty much gains control of it, and so suspicion obviously walks in, and Crush assumes that it's got to be Flash, Kid Flash, because somebody did it so fast that she would have been able to see it. And of course, that Crush goes in and puts the puts the hand on his neck, and Crush is like, Damian's like, stop, that's an order, and Jin tells her to stop. So. And obviously, Crush is like getting a little bit too. She seems clingy to Jin, and so, but anyway, and I'm not really a fan of that relationship. More so with these two because they have the most chemistry and they seem to interact the most. But that's neither here nor there. So Robin decides to lock down the whole thing, and he's like saying that Robin's like, look, they may not like my methods, but I know, but the team knows that at stake. Jin's ring is a weapon of mass destruction. We can't afford to take any chances. So, he pretty much remembers that Deathstroke told him that there was a traitor in their midst, and he wished that he could have found out more before he was killed. But of course, that Deathstroke is not really dead. But Robin's basically on a mission to try to find out what's happening. Meanwhile, we get this Crush saying that I can't believe it. And initially she's thinking that, oh, I understand why Robin's locking down the thing. And Crush is like saying, not me, you. It's like, how could you let this happen to you? How could you let somebody steal your ring? And Jin is like, are you blaming me for getting robbed? And basically, she's like, Crush is like, I'm blaming you for not being more careful. And Jin is like, do you truly believe I'm unaware of that? So Crush, what's happening? You're not seeing yourself? And she's like, oh, it's like you don't care. It's like, I'm just like, you're my friend. It's like, I don't understand what's happening. Why are you behaving this way? And so Crush is like saying, well, ever since I kissed you, you haven't said anything. It's a big deal to me. And I love this dead expression that Jin is giving Crush right here. And when it transformed into like, it's like, what the heck are you saying, man? How dare you insult me? And Crush is like, I don't know, why wouldn't she be like, insulted? Pretty much throughout this issue, you're going to see some dissection of people. And Jin is like, yeah, I do care, but I've spent my entire life under the control of others, and now I'm experiencing my life for my own for the first time. Even my name, Jin, is not my own. It simply means Judy. My brother, Elias, never allowed more. I've been alive for 4,000 years, yet I do not know who I am, or who I want to be, or who I want to be with, or if that's even possible. Crush, I only joined this team to only make up for my past, but to learn about my past. That today of all days you chose to confront me about your feelings by blaming me for my own worst nightmare tells me quite a lot about you. Ouch. Slap in the face. Get out. Suck. Whatnot. So Crush basically got owned. She's pissed. Takes off her jacket, of course. Thinks here's a knock. And then Damian's here. And Damian's like, let me come in. I'm going to interrogate your ass. Pretty much. So, of course, she's working out to relieve some pressure. Basically, he's asking, where were you the night the prisoners broke out? She's asking, what does that got to do with anything? And he's like, answer the question. She pretty much says like, "I was right here sleeping, but you should know that because you got cameras everywhere." Damian's like, "Cameras were disabled that evening. You saying the breakout was an inside job? Why didn't you tell us? I was waiting for the right moment, like you did when you confessed your feelings for Jin." It's like, what did you say? Of course, the so he obviously lied about that. Cameras are everywhere, Crush. I know about your kiss with Jin and your argument you just had. Did you think that you could use Jin's ring to make her return your feelings? And then, of course, Crush is like, you kidding me? You're upset. Did I strike a nerve? I'm gonna strike you. So she's about to go after him, and then Damian is like, "Oh my gosh, yo, your eyes." And of course, tells her to get out, basically saying, "Unlike you, I never heard Jin," which, I don't like that relationship simply because it just seems forced. Like, you should also be you should take Jin's advice and also take time to meditate and, find your way, not being possessive. You're the most possessive person on this team. So we get to Roundhouse, Roundhouse being who he is, that dude who likes to make his jokes. And then Robin's up in his grill saying, like, "We don't know anything about you." So, yeah, oh, it's like, "Geez, did Batman teach you that?" It's like, "The way that you just got up all in my business and your voice dropped and you're glaring at like the cops would never find my body. Chills, bro, chills. Can you teach me that?" And he's like, "This isn't a game. Sorry, jokes are my coping mechanism. For you survive this guilt." And then, of course, Damian, as you can see, is going to anger everybody in this issue. And yeah, he got him angry. And it's like, "I pretty much did my investigation. Your sister died in an accident 2 years ago. It gave you superpowers. And of course, you probably got survivor's guilt. And you think that maybe you could use the ring to wish her back to life, but Jin can't bring back the dead. Claire's gone for good, and the ring won't chase that. So give it up, Billy." And Roundhouse is like, "Bro, don't even go there." It's like saying, "I know what you're doing. Spent a lot of time on accident reading up on all this kind of stuff, interrogation tactics." He's pretty much dissecting Robin's tactics, pretty much like saying, "I've seen the read technique. I know what you're trying to do. Try to get me to confess to something I didn't do. For what it's worth, dude, the read technique has been hella criticized for coercing false confessions. Something to talk about. You don't know the first thing about." And he's like, "I pretty much know you're being a butthole. But you care about Jin and would do some rowdy things to help her. I get that. This is emergency. This isn't about dude stop. But once you need to listen to me. Yeah, I struggle with my insecurities, but every day I'm trying to be better, which is more than I can say for you. Ouch." And of course, it's like, and I don't know for sure, but I am certified fresh material. That I'm certified fresh material. But even you gotta admit that I bust my ass harder than anyone else on this team, and I'm getting pretty good at it. And of course, I hate myself for not being able to save my sister, but that's for me to deal with. It doesn't mean I sold Jin's ring because I didn't. Honestly, she scares the hell out of me, just like Red Arrow, because obviously she did scare Red Arrow, and apparently she strikes the fear in him. So we got some issues. So Jin's saying that I can't feel my ring's presence, and somebody's going to do some weird-ish with it. And Robin's like, "Yeah, I vetted everybody. Sometimes things slip." And she's like saying, "I believe you're capable of using it." And Robin's like, "I had the ring once. I gave it back. Why would I take it now?" And Jin is like dissecting my man so hard. It's like, I imagine it's exhausting to be hated so thoroughly by everyone under your leadership. Perhaps he saw it as a way to win me back. Steal my most rightful possession, allow me to unravel in panic, miraculously produce the ring when all hope is lost. It is a plan that utilizes many of your skills. Does it not? Deceit, manipulation, cruelty for your own ends. And Robin's like, "Damn, but I didn't take your ring. I'm gonna find out who did." Meanwhile, goes to Kid Flash, and Kid Flash is like on his phone, and even Robin, even though he's trying to basically cover all his bases, he should have enough common sense to know that Kid Flash has been with him the longest on this team, and that he knows his mannerisms, and that he vetted him as well. And he's pretty much saying that, and Kid Flash is just deflecting all the answers. Like, "I have to believe he was telling the truth. You found out in the prison mere hours before he told me, so I'm suspecting you." And it's like, "You've been compromised by distro," and yes, you have. But unlike you, my father wasn't a known criminal with ties to just your mother and your grandfather. Do you have a point? It's like, Crush wasn't wrong. You're the most obvious suspect, Wallace. It wasn't me, Robin. And if what you're saying is true, then I want to get to the bottom of it, just as you do badly. Then it's like, I might have had the speed and the motive to release the prisoners, but Damian, I'm looking at you right in the eyes. right now, man to man, and tell you it wasn't me. And for the record, I didn't take Jin's ring either. And who was it? It's like, I've been thinking about it since this morning. Honestly, there's only one person on this team who could pull something off like this. But she isn't even here. And of course, we're referring to Red Arrow. Red Arrow is basically getting, it's in the city. She's in Manhattan, Ollie's giving her, a place to stay. She's just trying to get her mind right after everything. And she deleted the message. And of course, she senses a presence. And it's Jin, all the way in Manhattan. And she's like, oh gosh, she's coming after me. And of course, she turns off the light. Of course, she gets an arrow in the hand. She's coming for her, and she believes that, of course, you're the traitor. I knew we couldn't trust, and she gets blasted out for her own good measure. And who is the traitor, you might ask? None other than Roundhouse, apparently. But then again, I don't know. What could be happening? What type of twists could there be? What kind of twists? Other than that, I give this a 9. No, you know what? No, I give it a 10 because we had so much exposition, we had so much basic understanding of the characters. Again, Adam Glass has been very good on the character development of this particular run of Teen Titans. He's done a great job. Start the issue and the plot was solid. We got some twists here and there because I can tell you when I first read this, I was not expecting such an ending. And here we are, at it again. What can I tell you? So, thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notifications. Make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these reviews for you, the people, because I want to discuss good comics like this and get your views on them. Thank y'all for watching. I shall have more videos up when I can. Peace.